Kirk Acevedo, welcome to An Actor Despairs, brother. How you doing?
What's going on, my friend? Doing well.
It is an immense honor and privilege to have you on, man. I've been such an incredible fan of yours for a very long time. Coming up when I was a kid, like Late Night Oz, watching you and then Band and everything you've done in your career, man. You've been a real influence on me and many other actors that have listened to this podcast. And I'll just go ahead and say that when I kind of made a post about you doing it, there are so many people out there that really worship the work that you do, and you've been a real titan and a path leader for so many of us. But I think an interesting thing that you and I got to connect about off air is that, like, a lot of times in this industry, you don't get to really show what you're capable of unless you're cast in a specific role that allows you to showcase that. So if it's cool with you, man, I just wanted to quickly show a really awesome audition tape before we jump in.
Sure. So, yeah,
Please,
absolutely.
please, devil, please leave us.
You mistake me, woman. No mere devil. I am the eater of worlds.
But my child, no, my child, he is innocent.
So you say. So you say. Beautiful fear. Beautiful fear.
I pray thee, take me.
I will. And then him. And thy husband. And the rest of thy children. And all the savages who brought you here. And when you're all rotting in the earth, I will pick thy bones dry until there's no meat left to pick. And then I will seek out thy bones. Yes. And I will consume thy souls. Until there's nothing left but the weeds. Or you will occupy yourself otherwise and not interfere, not interfere. And I will take her. And you will live. Yes, you will live. And your other children to whom I have no concern. And you will thank me. Yes, you will thank me. Fever and frost did not damn you to the soil. Fever, fever and frost did not damn you to the soil.
So I think that's an incredible piece, and I think it's a really cool starting point to just kind of show the audience here what you're capable of. And honestly, man, this just means so much to me. But enough about me. Let's talk about you. Let's start from the beginning, and we'll get to this tape in a bit. Where did you
Okay.
grow up?
I grew up in South Bronx.
South Bronx. What was that like, and
Yeah.
what did your parents do?
Uh, well, what was it like? I mean, in 1970s, South Bronx was probably as bad as it gets. And then the 80s wasn't any better because, you know, crack epidemic
Did
came
you
about.
feel the AIDS epidemic up there too, or?
My first cousin, she died of AIDS in '87. She was
Wow.
one of the first people to pass away in New York. Or like when, or put it this way, when most people were unaware or didn't know how you contract the disease, and we knew everything.
Mm.
Like my family and I knew everything, so, and it was funny. My stepmom happened to be a pediatric nurse for babies with AIDS, so I knew a lot about the virus and everything. But yes, yes,
Wow.
my first cousin passed away
And
from AIDS. Yeah,
I'm sorry for your loss. Were your
long
parents
time ago.
artists at all, or like talk to me about your upbringing?
No, 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 not really. My mom was just like a housewife. My dad, interesting, interestingly enough, was a he developed black and white photographs. So all the pictures of James Dean walking down Times Square uh, in the rain, my dad developed all of those.
For
The
like
picture,
Kodak or for a company or
I don't know if he did work at Kodak at the time. At one point, I don't know if he did that when he opened up his own business or he was at Kodak. When he was at Kodak, he did pictures of like the moon. He did
wow.
the first print ever of a baby in a womb, the embryo in a womb. Which growing up, I saw the picture on my wall, like But once my dad divorced my mom, uh, when I was around 4 years old,
Oh, I'm sorry.
like it financially we were we were pretty bad. Like at one point we had to go on welfare and for like a year or
Wow.
two. It was just, family problems,
Yeah,
dynamics, issues,
I
So,
understand.
but yeah, but South Bronx, yeah, pretty bad.
Did you stay with one parent versus the other, or was it a ping pong thing?
Yeah, I was with my mom
Your mom.
my mom pretty much the whole time until like I was 13, 14 years old. I lived with my dad for like a year or two.
You said you did some time in Portchester as well, right? Or did I make that
Uh,
up?
it was Parkchester.
Parkchester. Okay,
It was
got it.
Parkchester in the Bronx. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, wow.
yeah,
Okay. And so
yeah.
then tell me, obviously, like I imagine in the middle of the crack epidemic and New York City in that time is not what we know now. Like growing up, like, did you take school seriously? Was that a thing that you felt like, like science, history? Did you care about those?
I got kicked out of kindergarten, and my brother called me a kindergarten dropout.
What'd you do?
Just fighting,
Yeah.
just fighting, and just just I think getting divorced. My brother was 6 years older than me, so he was like 10 or 11. So he got a taste of what it's like to have two parents. And a lot of times you think it would be harder on him because I didn't know, so I didn't know what I'm missing. But I think from all the fighting that I had in elementary school and junior high, I think it did affect me. But I didn't enjoy school until I went to junior high and went to East Harlem Performing Arts.
Hmm.
So, it definitely was like an artistic kid, an emotional kid. So,
With like, talk to me about like, did you play any instruments? Like, were you jamming records? Like, what was
no,
art
no,
a thing in your
no,
life?
no, it's just was TV. Like, I like my childhood
Give
was
me the
like
shows.
the Brady Bunch,
I love
man.
the Brady Bunch. I've
Good
seen every
times.
episode.
Like good times was listen, the Brady Bunch was like, oh wow, parents are
Happy
kind.
Family. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I
happy
had the same
family.
thing. Happy
Like that
Days? Did you do Happy
food.
Days?
Yeah,
Uh,
but uh, yes, but it was really Brady Bunch. Brady Bunch and Good Times were those were the two shows, man.
wow.
And literally the juxtaposition of both, like emotionally, and was just, I could relate to Good Times. Good Times was my life, but Brady Bunch is what I wanted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's what I needed. You know what I mean? Just like the love and the food and the structure and the stability, all the things I did not have.
Yeah.
You
And a
know,
house, a nice house.
dude, I would
Yeah.
just take a meal, like a
Yeah.
home cooked meal.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Yeah, yeah. It
So
was bad.
was it one of those things then, like on the streets, like were you doing like little hustles for money ever, or
Yeah, I don't even know if I could talk about half this stuff.
All right, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I mean, but I mean,
Yeah,
I guess what I'm asking, and I can ask
yeah.
in a more eloquent way, is like, were you aware of like, did you have an early need of like money and like getting eventually something to get money, like being hungry? Like, did you feel this calling to like, go out there and like how hard you would have to fight, like being at like so to speak the bottom of the ladder?
Money's always an issue. It's a funny thing you bring that up. I was having a conversation with my wife, and we're talking about we saw some article or something she was referencing about how someone was saying money isn't everything. And it was some like multimillionaire talking with another billionaire. And I'm like, money does a lot of things.
Yeah.
Money pays your rent. Money helps with medical costs if you're sick. Money helps with, you know, uh, just a lot of things. Makes life a whole lot easier. And so during my childhood, I mean, all I ever heard was like, oh, you live paycheck to paycheck with my mom. And so all I ever heard was like the crying and the tears and the struggle, the financial struggle. Like it has literally damaged me emotionally,
Mm.
the stress of money. Like, so when I'm under duress financially at certain periods of my life, I unravel because I've only ever seen my mom, how she handles financial duress. It wasn't like a calm person. We're going to get through this. Don't worry. We're going to come out better on the other side. Just the right way to deal with things. All I heard is, oh my God, what are we going to do? And crying. You're raised as a child since 5 years old. This is all I've ever heard. And so obviously, you know, there's certain things I don't do around my child,
Yeah.
and that's one of them. If there's any financial issues, in my past, like I definitely just try not to burden her with any of that stuff because you don't want to give her that tick. You don't want to show, oh, this is how you handle financial problems. Or the same thing, like I was hit as a child with a belt
Yeah.
switch, like the handle that you hung your clothes on, that little pole. I
Oh
was I was
God.
hit with a hot iron. I was hit with pots and pans. I was hit with everything. I would never ever hit my child.
Yeah.
So that was, there's certain things that were just, I knew what I wasn't going to do. I was going to raise my kid differently, and
So,
so
so
yes,
what?
so money was a big issue growing
Wh-
up.
Did you
Yes.
feel like, I mean, obviously growing up in the Bronx, I feel like, so I grew up in Richmond, Virginia, but I feel like you're expected to kind of do this like middle class, like job pipeline, like I don't know, doctor, lawyer, like judge or something. Like, did you in the Bronx, like, did you feel like you were being fed to some kind of like career or life that you were expected to
So
fulfill?
So, like, I mean, listen, unfortunately, growing up in the Bronx, other than, one of our Supreme Court justices, who's also from the Bronx, the dreams and the aspirations to become doctors and lawyers, not my generation growing up. Like it was, hustlers staying out of jail, not getting hooked on drugs and stuff like that. Like if like that was an accomplishment itself by not,
Yeah.
becoming an addict or, and I this is what I knew at an early age that was different than most kids. I knew I didn't want to live in the Bronx. I knew I wanted to get out of my circumstances. I knew I wanted a better life. How do I get there? What do I do well? And even when I was younger and I was getting hit, I was just like, I'm never gonna hit my kid. Like I was a little bit more mature, I felt, than most kids my age. You know, I could look from the outside at my situation and say this isn't normal. This isn't how a lot of kids live. They live in this neighborhood like this, yes. But when I went to high school and saw how other people live, I'm like, this is not the way.
Yeah.
So my only way to get out was acting. Was the only thing I was really good at a young age.
And tell me when you discovered that, like obviously, the Brady Bunch Good Times, like when did you
Yeah,
finally like, oh, like I like this performing thing. Like when did that
yeah.
switch happen?
Junior high school. I was getting in trouble a lot. I was doing great with my grades at this point. Just loved history. Just loved was great at math, and got into an altercation in junior high. I went to East Harlem Performing Arts. I got kicked out of a different junior high in the Bronx, and then my mom sent me to an art school in East Harlem, and eventually got into a fight there. Like I was like, I'm Puerto Rican, but I look white, so I'm like the only white kid in school, but I'm Puerto Rican,
I'm
and
Mexican,
so
so I get it.
yeah,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
understand? Right?
yeah,
We look like
yeah,
colonizers.
yeah.
It's not our fault that
I know.
we look like colonizers. Exactly. So, and as punishment for getting into the fight, I had to stay after school, and we had to rehearse a play, and we were doing oh God, what was it? The Mad Hatter, Alice in
Oh, Alice
Wonderland.
in Wonderland. Yeah, yeah.
So one of the kids got sick. He got chicken pox or something, and someone had to play the Mad Hatter. So my punishment was I had to play the Mad Hatter. So I'm rehearsing, and at this point, yeah, I wanted to be an actor, but wanting and making it come to fruition, or just like the dearth is like this.
Yeah.
So we do our first performance, and we're doing it in front of family and other schools. It's like hundreds of kids in an auditorium. And I had to sing Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star as the Mad Hatter. And I just riffed it. I jumped up on the table, something I never did. I jumped up there on the table and I started spinning my watch around, and I started singing like a 1920s, like, gangster, and just improvised the whole thing. And people were laughing. And it was like the special sauce. Like I'm getting laughter, and they're responding to everything I would riff on. Nothing I rehearsed. And after the play, this little girl just goes, "Could I have your autograph?" And to this day, I was like, "Oh, I'm hooked. I got attention. The first time in your life,
Yeah.
you got attention." And I did something, and I did something well that, yeah, I was hooked. That moment,
Wow.
I was hooked.
Thank you for sharing that. Then did it kind of
Yeah,
like start to change the way when you went to school, like drama then? Like, because you went to LaGuardia eventually, didn't you? Or
yeah, yeah. I went to the high school performing arts, the fame school. We were the first class in the new building because the other one burnt down, and they're building up the school. So we were the first, our year, we were the first freshmen in that new building. And I auditioned for that. I auditioned for Stuyvesant for math and for Truman. And I got into Stuyvesant first. And I was like, it's like, I'm good at math, but like,
yeah.
fuck math. Like,
You
I'm
don't
not
want to go
doing.
to MIT? Yeah.
Well, it was so funny. My uncle, uh, my my dad has four brothers. The middle brother had a scholarship to MIT. He was a chess champion, taught me
Wow.
chess at 4 years old, but he was a hippie. So he just went. He skipped out of MIT and just went like, hippie communes and stuff like that. But like he would build like computers before there were computers. He'd build speakers. Like I mean, just and so he taught me chess when I was like 5 years old. Yeah,
Wow, that's
yeah.
amazing. So
So yes, but did not want to go to MIT. No,
and so you chose LaGuardia, and obviously, how was your experience
chose
there?
LaGuardia. Great, changed my life. Two of my best friends I met when I'm 13 years old. To this day, we speak like 4 or 5 times a week,
Wow.
text, like everything. Like
Still, are they
known each
actors
other.
or no?
One of them was an actor at the time. They did a play called Torch Song Trilogy on
Yeah, Harvey
Broadway.
Firestein. Yeah,
Vicing, yeah, Rick
yeah.
Addison, a buddy of mine, and my other brother, so-called brother, we all three of us went to SUNY Purchase, and so all trained actors, but one is a principal and the other one runs lounges
Bro.
and nightclubs, pretty much.
So then, obviously, like we got to LaGuardia, and when you finished, did you apply to a lot of other colleges besides SUNY Purchase, or?
I only applied to SUNY Purchase. There's only school. I had to still get my GED. So at that point, I'm going to none of my academic classes because I just know I want to be an actor. And I go, I don't need any of these academic classes. Like math, I don't need math. Definitely don't need science.
Yeah.
Just definitely don't need that stuff. The funny thing is, like, I love my history class, so I would still go to my history class because I would just read the whole history book. Like I would just read it like in a month, the entire book, and just take the test and all that stuff, write the essays. But we just never do the homework. So it was probably the only academic class I went to was my history class. And so I had to make up like 5 different classes. And so it was like an extra 6 months of school because I couldn't even make it up all in the summertime. So I got my GED and then I couldn't audition for Juilliard, I think, because at the time I'm 17 as a senior. So I don't turn 18 till November. So even if I got my GED, I think I was too young. For some
Got it.
reason I couldn't get into Juilliard for an age thing, and I think it was the GED thing. And so SUNY Purchase, my best friend Manny went to SUNY Purchase, and then that's where me and Rick, my other best friend, we both had to get our GEDs, and we decided to enroll into to SUNY Purchase. My best friend Manny, his mom, literally paid for my application fee and
Wow.
everything to go to Purchase. Because at this point, I'm living alone all senior year. I'm 16 years old. I got kicked out of my house, so I'm literally living by myself. My dad gave me the option. I'm living on my dad's time. My dad gives me the option. He goes, "You have 3 options. You can live here, take over the rent. You can move out, go somewhere else, or you can join the military." I'm fucking 16.
No
Yeah.
way.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna, I'm gonna, I'm just gonna leave that with you. I
Yeah.
was 16 years old, so I decided to stay there, and so I got 3 roommates who paid the rent. Basically, just paid my rent.
In a one bed,
No, it was a 2 bedroom,
2 bedroom.
2 bedroom. And so
Wow.
what we did was one of the bedrooms we put a partition to make it like so we had like 3 bedrooms, and then someone would sleep in the living room. And so my whole senior year was like that. And
Wow.
so I would eat. I would eat at school, breakfast at school, lunch at school, and then my buddy, who was a working actor, did commercials, Torch Song Trilogy, did some TV movies. He paid for everything for like dinners and stuff like that. Yeah,
Ultimate homie, man. Wow. Shout out to
yeah, hell yeah.
that's Rick or
That's Rick. Yeah,
wow.
Rick Addison. Yeah,
What a legend, man. I love
that
that.
is a legend. Yeah,
And
brother.
and so then when you get to SUNY, like, do you like the training there? Like, obviously, Shay Wiggum, really good friend of mine, done the podcast multiple
It,
times.
it was my
Yeah.
college roommate my senior year. Shay was. Uh, yeah, I mean, listen, SUNY Purchase literally changed my life because now, it's 30 kids in your company. It's the best of the best, right? At that point, you have like NYU undergrad,
Yeah.
you have SUNY Purchase, you have Rutgers, you have Carnegie Mellon, North Carolina School of the Arts. There's like 5 to 7 schools to
Yeah.
go to. And SUNY Purchase at that time was like one of like the top three to
Had
go to.
Snipes already come out of it and worked?
Snipes, Edie Falco,
Yeah, Stanley
Parker
Tucci.
Posey, Stanley Tucci. Parker Posey was, I was a freshman, she was a senior. And same thing with Adam Tracy and all those guys. So yeah. Uh so the best of the best, right? They're all, you know, that year. And so you compare and contrast. And I go, after watching everyone do their monologues to get into school, I just knew that, wow, I could, you know, from junior high, that's one level. High school, that's another level. And it's, high school performing arts. And then SUNY Purchase, it's a conservatory, that's another level. And each level I succeeded because at this point, like you don't know if this is feasible, if this is a reality. You don't really know. Can I be a working actor? You know what I mean? But each level is a confidence builder,
Hmm.
So once I graduated from school, you had your little leagues,
Showcase
your
or
showcases, and we did ours with NYU, Carnegie Mellon, North Carolina School of the Arts, and then Purchase. And I got a bunch of calls. I had like 40 something calls for agents and casting directors and that's one of the things is at an early age I knew who I was. And what I mean by that is a lot of kids coming out of conservatory, they don't know what they look like, what they give off, what they're going to get cast as.
yeah.
It's really important to know. Now, obviously, we don't want to be one dimensional. We want to be able to do a myriad of different things, right? We're actors, right? And especially for me, I'm a character actor. Eh, But starting out, you should know what you look like coming out. And
Totally.
so I picked material that suited what I was going to get cast as. And so while other people are doing like, you know, playing the parts from Pulp Fiction, and I'm like, you're never going to get cast as that. You're like, a ginger, like who grew up wealthy and like he doesn't even know how to curse.
Yeah.
I mean, just there's no edge to him whatsoever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and they're playing these parts, and it's just that's not what you look like or give off. So, I just thought that set me off on the right foot in the right direction, so to speak. So, yeah.
Wow. And so then when you did you get rep pretty quickly from the showcase or
Yes, but I wanted to go. I think at the time there was William Morris, and there was William Morris Paradigm because I think they merged. Right? Is that true? I think so.
no,
Something.
it was
Who?
it was something. I know where Endeavor and William Morris merged or
No, that was
later.
now. I'm talking about. Anyway, so I wanted to go to William Morris because at the time it was like
The best.
you know the best. And then there was this other one, and I can't think of who it was. And so I came in, and during our senior year showcase at our senior year performance, we had to write our own stuff. So I wrote my own monologue. And so that was my audition piece. I had three audition pieces: Death of a Salesman, uh,
Biff or
Skip.
Happy?
No, Biff. Sorry,
Biff.
Biff. Biff. I climbed up 11 flights of stairs today with a
Okay.
pen in my hand. I looked at the pen and I said to myself, "What the hell am I grabbing this for? Why am I? That one.
Yeah.
This is great." And so that was like my go-to. That Raisin in the Sun got me into high school, and then uh, SUNY Purchase was that Biff monologue, and that monologue, and then the monologue I wrote for my senior year were my audition pieces. And so I did my audition piece, and it was very volatile, and it was very wasn't PC, and I didn't understand mediums at the time. You go to a conservatory back then, it was theater oriented. It wasn't what we're going to do behind the camera.
Yeah.
TV, film, TV, right? Film, theater. It's like, and so it's a different medium. So I'm doing a performance for like I'm blowing up the room. Like look at here's my pipes. This is how bad I could get. You know what I mean? And it's a good performance, but it's a performance for, not for TV film. And so, I thought I killed the performance in the room for this agency. And then I get a call back 3 days later, and he's like, "Hey, Kirk, it's so and so. It's yeah, so it's not gonna go any further." And I go, "Why?" I go, "Why?" Because I thought I killed the audition.
Yeah.
He's like, he's like, "Oh, you really want to know?" I go, "Yes." He goes, "I thought you were over the top. It was a little bit melodramatic." And I'm like, it's so funny because it's stuff I do now. Like I'm so under the radar. I'm so understated with the majority of everything I do. So, but I understood why he was saying that. And I was like, oh, I could do it differently. Because when you leave a room, you start second guessing everything. You go, maybe
100%.
maybe I should have just did it understated. Like,
Yeah.
I did have the wherewithal to read the room after. You're like, maybe I blew the pipes a little too hard. Maybe I should just let it simmer. He's like, no, 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 no. We have another actor that's very similar to you, but he's a little bit more established. And so that was another issue. And so hold that guy in mind because he comes back around. So I go to a different agency and I go to J. Michael Bloom at the time. And, you know, eventually I went to a bigger agency a few years later. And that guy was at that agency, right? No, wait, no, 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 no. It's better. This is even better. Remember that guy that said that he had someone that was more established than me?
Yeah.
It was another Latin actor, right? For the audition for Oz, the part was already offered to someone else. That part was offered to that actor that was established. Now, mind you, from the conversation of I'm melodramatic, that was me just graduating from college, this conversation now, what we're talking about is like 2 years later. And so I knew the actor he was talking about, and he was offered that part. So they were having auditions for Miguel Alvarez, and I'm like, man, the part's already offered out because they told me that, and they go, but you never know what happens, like contracts, stuff like that. People fall out, people get other jobs, and so in that room, everyone's yelling in the room for the audition, and you hear everyone. And so I go, oh, I got to switch this up because I'm not going to get this part. I don't care how good my performance is. I just heard 15 actors yell, and I'm fucking tired of hearing them yell. So there's just no way I'm going to get this. So I have to switch this up and just stand out of the gate. And so I'm literally going to do this understated, right? And I get the part. And it was already precast. Cut to 2 years, now 6 years after the guy told me I was melodramatic. I'm signing with this new agency. And he's one of the agents that he introduced me to. He goes, oh, you might know so-and-so. I think you guys know each other. And I literally, listen, I got no fucking filter. And I don't give a fuck. And I'm going to tell you why. Because some of these motherfuckers are just, we always have to be quiet in this business.
Yeah.
Because people have long memories. And sometimes when they do us wrong, we can't say anything.
Yeah.
Why is that? This person did me wrong. Like whether you know, they talk down to you. There's always a power dynamic that's skewed in their favor. So anyway, I see the guy. And so this is like revenge, right? This is, I've been waiting for this fucking moment. I was like, oh, yes, you're the guy that said I was melodramatic. The fucking room was like, and I know, but it's this young me. It's like,
Yeah.
it's young 26, 27-year-old me that's with a chip on his shoulder that just has to, you know what I mean? So I got to tell you, me and that guy have been going back and forth, this back and forth. You know, I just think he could have chosen a different adjective.
Yeah.
I just think when he said melodramatic, he was doing
Yeah,
this
he's trying to prod you.
because I just he could have said, listen, I'm gonna go with someone a little bit, just a little bit more established. In fact, I have someone that's very similar to you. And that, great, no
Yeah.
worries.
Yeah.
But I was like melodramatic. No one would like. I mean,
Yeah,
my
fuck off. Fuck you.
as an actor,
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't think I'm melodramatic as an actor. So
Yeah. No,
anyway,
man. So then obviously like does Oz, once you book that, does it change your life? I mean HBO wasn't what it was at the time, but you're on this incredible like riveting drama series that paved the way for the television we have now.
no. I think the thing that changed my life was before Oz. I did a play called Tooth of Crime with Sam Shepard, uh, and he rewrote it called Tooth of Crime Second Dance, and then T Bone Burnett did the music, and Vincent D'Onofrio starred opposite
Wow.
me, and I played the role of Haas. Uh, that changed my entire life.
That was a
The
Broadway run?
It was off Broadway at the
Off Broadway.
Lucille
Lortel,
Lortel
my
Theater. Yeah,
favorite theater.
the most gorgeous theater.
Best theater
Yes,
in the city, man. I love that
best theater.
space. Sacred.
You could whisper and hit the back row,
Yeah.
hit the balcony because it's just the acoustics are great. It's very intimate. I think it's 300 seats, right? Uh,
Yeah, I mean, if that, I would say maybe 250.
or 250.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Is this, but just a classic old school theater. But getting that part, I did a play called Roberto Zucco, and when I was doing Roberto Zucco, uh, Bill Hart, who directed all of Sam Shepard's plays, came and saw Roberto Zucco 4 times uh, uh, for me, uh, which was I was humbled, and I knew who Bill Hart was because I was a Sam Shepard fanatic. Like for me, growing up, you're either a Mammoth fan or you're a Sam Shepard fan, right?
Yeah.
And for me, I was Sam Shepard all the way. It was so visceral, volatile, and angry, and that's who I was as a kid, even growing up at this time. I've just always had a chip on my shoulder, and so I related to the material, and also they were always all of Sam's stuff is always outsiders. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People who didn't fit into the system, like Sam himself, right? And so because he always had to move around, being his dad was an Air Force pilot, so he always had to move around, different cities and places, and so he always had to reestablish himself. So he's always that outsider, and uh, so Bill said, "Listen, I'm about to do this play, and next year, and it's Tooth of Crime, and you'd be fucking amazing." And now, mind you, this guy did True West. This guy did Cowboy Mouth. Like, directed all of Sam's first plays. Like, was the best man at his wedding. I mean,
Wow.
like, yes, no, they're best friends, right? And so he takes me under his wing, and we start workshopping it and grooming me in the sense of like just making the performance better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just bulletproofing my performance. So, for Sam, just dotting every I, crossing every T, so to speak. You know what I mean? Because I'm right for the part. And Sam at the time was having conversations with Johnny Depp. Like all these people wanted to play the part. And uh, for Haas, Tom was talking to John Malkovich, who, if you've ever seen John on stage,
Yeah.
I saw him in Burn This. There's, I mean, my God, that motherfucker smoked the house. This guy's, I mean, just very few people do theater like John Malkovich. And but he was directing his first play at the time, so he couldn't play Haas. Then he was speaking to Eddie Harris, who is my favorite actor on the planet.
The best.
And I love Eddie Harris. And so Eddie Harris was directing his first play at the time, so he couldn't play Haas. So now I'm hearing these, I'm like, I'm gonna act opposite fucking Eddie Harris. Like so I'm hearing these things, and then they fall out, right? So finally I get to meet after audition in front of Sam Shepard and T-Bone Burnett. They rent out they were at the second stage theater. Their
Oh
theater
yeah,
on,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. No, a ninth or 10th or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, because Second Stage produced it alongside what's the theater on 42nd Street?
Playwrights.
No.
Um,
Oh my God. He did so many.
Roundabout.
No, it's on
Uh,
42nd Street.
uh, MTC, Manhattan Theater Club.
It'll come to me later. I can't think of it
Okay,
right now.
okay, whatever.
But they co-produced. It was a series of Sam plays. Uh, but
Signature Theater.
Signature Theater. Yes,
Yep,
correct.
yep.
Signature Theater. So we're at Second Stage Theater, and I'm traveling with the casting director, and he's like massaging my shoulder, so to speak. Just metaphorically, just like, this is yours, seize it. And it was such a great conversation because to this day, it's like yesterday. Like it's so emotional for me because I remember this play, this moment changed my life. And so we go up there, and he goes, and he was saying stuff like, "You're always going to remember this cabaret. You're always going to remember this moment." And I don't know if he planted it into my head, but I do. So I walk in. Now, mind you, Sam is my idol. Like, wished he was the dad I never had. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And so I go in there, and it's just like, you're just looking at this guy. It's just like, it's fucking Sam Shepard. And I didn't know who T-Mo Burnett was. I mean, I knew that he wrote songs for Roy Orbison and Bob Dylan and stuff like that, but that's all I knew at the point. And I do the first monologue, and Sam cuts me off after like literally line four. He's like, all right, you can act, kid. And I'm like, okay, it's good, good. And I thought I was a little tight personally. You know what I mean? 'Cause,
Yeah.
it was one of those. It was a monologue I could warm up into it, like there's other stuff, right? So, but I thought I was a little tight. But he goes, all right, you have a song? You have a song you want to sing? And so then I sang some "Hey Good Looking" from what's his face? Hey Good Looking. I can't
Oh,
really sing,
yeah.
so. Uh, and he was like, "You have something else?" Because I was like I was off key. And then I sang Jane's Addiction, "I Would for You." And
Okay.
so like Jane's Addiction was like my favorite band back then. So I sang, and he's like, "Who's and who sings that?" Jane's Addiction. I like that song. I was like, all right, you got the part. And that was it. But from that point, from getting that, Sam introduced me to Terrence Malick. Terrence
Wow.
Malick, he's like, you have to see this kid, you don't understand. And so Terrence Malick flew me out, got me in Thin Red Line from the play, from Tooth of Crime. Alexa Fogel saw Tooth of Crime. She was Tom Fontana's casting director, did Homicide. It was like, you have to see this kid. And so from that, I got
Awesome.
Oz. So this is going back. and
Wow.
just connecting all the
Alexa
dots.
is like the best. That's the one.
Yeah, she's great.
I think she just started following me on my personal account. So hi Alexa if you're listening. But
She's great. She's a great person. You probably want to talk to because I'm sure she had great stories
I'd love
just
to
about
speak to her.
actors
Yeah.
auditioning and she just and obviously she has great taste. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
you
not
know,
yet. She's got to cast me, but I'm just kidding.
uh,
But tell me, obviously Dean Winters, Leon Robinson, so many friends
yeah,
on that show. Was that a fun experience? And
great.
do yeah.
I mean, just still talk with each other, still send emails. I mean, we still in contact. It's like old. It's like 20 years didn't go by whenever we see each other. It was
And
just like yesterday.
it's so funny because I feel like there's been so many actors on my show who like do one thing on HBO and then do like six or seven others. And for you, obviously like one of the, if not the greatest thing in the world, band. How did that
Yeah,
happen? Was that, like, did that come from someone at the network at HBO that like, oh,
nah.
Kirk's some,
I was doing a Jamie Foxx film called Bait out in Toronto, and so we were on hiatus for Oz. And so I'm in Toronto, and I get a call from my agent. She's like, "You got to fly out to it's like a Wednesday. You have to fly out Friday to LA." And I go, what are you talking about? She goes, "There's a big audition for you. They bought me my ticket, everything." I was like, "I'm working." She goes, "You," and she goes, I'm like, "What is it?" She was like, "It's Band of Brothers." I'm like, "What is that?" And she's like, it's Tom Hanks, Steven Spielberg." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And so now they've already been holding auditions like months prior for other parts. So I fly down, and that Saturday morning, I'm supposed to read, pre-read or whatever it's called, my first audition. And they didn't tell me Tom Hanks is going to be in the room. It was just me, Tom Hanks, and a video camera, and he read opposite me. It was actually kind of like it's
yeah, you need a heads up on that for as an
yeah.
act.
I need
Yeah.
a heads up on it,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I don't think anyone knew. And so the funny thing is, we read like I got like this one page, and I read like the first two lines.
For
And
Winters or for
don't even remember some random part. I think everyone read like the same,
got it.
you know, and um, he again cuts me off. He's like, all right, you can act. He's like, I see you tomorrow. And I go, well, what's happening tomorrow? Because it's Sunday and I got to fly back Sunday, right? And he's like, uh, callbacks. I was like, I'm working and I have to be back Sunday. I'm in Toronto. And he goes, we'll work it out. And so I found out later that someone from
Barry
Steven Spielberg,
Levinson or oh, okay.
no, Steven Spielberg, his office made a phone call to one of the
Production.
producers at
Wow.
production in Toronto if I could just take the red eye, fly in and take the red eye and fly in Monday morning at like 6 a.m. And they acquiesced, like with
Probably
a
the only
slight,
person who can make that call in the world.
trust me, I heard about it when I flew in. They go, yeah. So the producer goes, so if I call Steven Spielberg saying like, hey, like, how do you think that would go? I go, not my fault.
Yeah.
You capitulated. I mean, it's not my, I mean, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, it's Spielberg, brother. Sorry. So, yeah. So the next day there was like 200 people. Uh, and it was just like you knew everyone, McDreamy, all those guys, the guy from the champ, the little kid, Ricky Schroeder, uh, just every actor you knew, like the kid from ET, like you just knew everyone. Donnie Wahlberg, I saw Donnie Wahlberg, and I saw Frank John Hughes. Donnie Wahlberg was the first person I met, and we just
Wow.
clicked like this. We just hung out, and then John Hughes, just the three of us. And so they brought me into the room. They finally brought me in. They kept on mixing and matching other people, and they brought us in a room, six people. And I'm reading some sides for some random character. Don't know who it was to this day. Just don't remember. So long ago. It was like 20 some years ago. And walk in a room, and it's Steven Spielberg holding up a video camera, filming all of us walking in a room. Tom Hanks and Tony Toe, who's the head of Playtone at the time. Just those three people, and then 6 actors. And it was a big round conference table. We all sat around the conference table and we just did our scene. You know, sitting at a conference table. Like, imagine you guys are just at a mess hall and you're doing the scene. So doing the scene, but in the scene, I had like, because you're mixing and matching parts. So all I had was like one line. I'm like, what kind of bullshit's this? Like, I'm like, one line. I mean, like, uh, and so they go, okay, now we're going to improvise. And at that point, I was like, oh, this is not going to go well because everyone is like, they're trying to get the part.
Yeah.
They're jockeying for the part. So I know someone's just going to dominate. And I don't want to be the asshole
Totally.
that's going to dominate. So you're trying to navigate through this fucking. It's to me, it's the worst thing to say to 6 actors. Okay, let's do an improvisation. 2 actors, yes. 3 tops, but
Yeah.
not 6 actors. It's ridiculous. So what happens is one fucking guy sitting at the end of the table. Literally, I'm at one end of the table. He's at the end of the table. He starts doing a fucking monologue. He's like, all right, guys, we're going to go in there. He's like, hey, you, get in line. Like, literally, like, fucking,
Jimmy
some
Stewart shit.
terrible
Yeah.
Jimmy Stewart impersonation. Hey, you, fuckwad, let's go over here. Hey, fuck Hitler. Like, all that. Like, just saying random shit. And I go, hey. He goes, hey, fuck you, big nose. And I go, what'd you say to me? He's like, I called you fucking big nose. I go, so if I go over there and punch you dead in the face, what are you going to do? He's like, and I get up to walk over, and Steven Spielberg and Ty goes, whoa, whoa. And I was like, and I literally go, what? He's like, I was just acting. But I wasn't.
I know.
I was so fucking mad. I was like, I'll go over there and I'll punch you dead in your fucking nose.
In character.
I was no, just as me.
Yeah.
I was so hot because I'm like, here's this fucking little
Upstaging
shit.
bitch.
Just fucking like listen, a good improv partner asks you a question.
Yeah.
And then he throws it back. And then we have banter and we riff. How about so-and-so? You know what I mean? You rip. It reminds me, whatever it is. But this guy, literally, for like 1 minute, and all of us are just, I'm looking at the other actors, and they're all like, and I'm like, hey. And I was going to say something like, could you just shut the fuck up? Like, I literally was just going to say, shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? You're like, you talk too much, or like whatever it was. You know what I mean? So I get the part next day later. All I did was I said one line. I did do one improv, saying 2 lines. I'm gonna punch you in the fucking face, and you get the part.
Holy
Crazy.
shit. And tell me
Yeah,
that
it's crazy.
motherfucker didn't get it, right? Like he's
No,
not even.
I never saw him.
Oh,
No,
okay.
I never saw him.
Cool.
Never saw him. He was terrible. It was just terrible. Yeah.
But I think you told me off air, right? Like because you booked it, they had to write you off Oz for a little bit, right? Or
Yeah. So Tom, I had to then ask Tom, hey, I got this gig, it's a pretty big gig. I go, it's Tom Hanks, Steven Spielberg, World War II. And he was like, well, do you want to come back? I go, yes, I want to come back. He's like, great. You escape and then you get recaptured. And that was it. And yeah.
wow. And
Yeah, good
obviously,
stuff.
like you go to basic, like is that when you meet all the guys and like is it
Right.
because there's so many of you, and it's okay if you don't want to reveal too much. Like, does it get clicky or do you guys all get along or?
Well, they're cliques because they're cliques between like the officers hang out with the officers because most of their scenes are together. And then their boot camp consisted uh, of, 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 of learning different military things.
Got it.
Like they had to learn maps and delegating authority. Ours were just a little bit different. You know,
With Dale Dye?
with Dale Dye. Yeah, we were
Wow.
at a British Royal Marine base in England. That's where it took place. 2 weeks. Yeah,
Like, look,
it was.
thinking,
It wasn't physically hard. Like it really wasn't physically hard. It was like 3 miles in an hour. Go down, give me 10 push-ups. And so, the kid with the chip on his shoulder, I was like, "Is that with my left or my right arm, sir?" Like that was just it
yeah,
was the wise ass. So, but
love
they
it.
but they but they loved me because my brother was in the military, and I grew up playing with army soldiers. My entire childhood, like I loved army soldiers. So,
Wow. So,
uh,
who immediately are your homies? Like Donnie and
Donnie, me, Donnie, Scotty Grimes,
ah, man, man.
Frank John Hughes, um, uh, 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 Bull Rattleman,
Wow.
Michael Cutlets. Uh, yeah,
I
just
love that. So that is that some of the best memories of your life?
uh, very yes, good stuff. I mean, listen, it had some drawbacks, but the I wouldn't change a thing.
Yeah.
It's met some good friends and still have some good friends from that show.
I'll tell you, something. Anytime I'm like really struggling as an actor, I watch the Bastogne episode.
I've only saw it for the first time last year.
You're amazing. Like you're amazing in the whole show, but that episode, is all about you and
I don't watch it.
perseverance.
I for it came out 2001. I saw it in 2024 for the first time. I never saw one episode.
What did you think?
Um, I thought it held up pretty well. I thought it was pretty amazing.
I
I thought the
had.
mu-
Oh, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. Go on.
no, but it's I can't watch stuff I'm
Yeah,
in,
I
so
get it.
it's
I'm the
just
same.
yeah.
But I guess what I was going to say is I had James Badgedale on the podcast, and he was in the
Yeah.
Pacific, and he was kind of saying what they shot was much more violent than what was actually in the ultimate cut of the Pacific. Do you feel like your
Oh,
experience of
interesting.
filming matched what you shot on band, or the tone, at least, or
Yeah, I think it was in line with what was on the page. Yeah,
wow.
yeah,
Amazing. And did
yeah.
that change your life once it came out? I mean, obviously Oz was big, but I think Band was
It's
like are offers happening after that show comes out for you?
this is the problem, and this is the problem. Like prior to Oz, I just was an actor. I wasn't a Latin actor. I was an Italian actor. I wasn't Jewish. I wasn't Mediterranean. I just was an actor. The minute I did Oz, I was a Latin actor.
Mm.
Now, I look like anything. I look Greek. I look Turkish. I could be
Italian,
Jewish. I
yeah,
mean,
literally.
Italian. I
Yeah.
mean, I could be from Israel. I mean, I could be anything. 90% of all my auditions, my entire career has been a Latino part.
Wow.
So
Just because
people
of
go
Oz?
right. So people go, well, but you could do anything. You don't look Latino. You could be anything. You could look Italian. But because they know I am in the industry, 90% of every audition I ever get. I mean, listen, even if I get a part that's not Latino, say in 12 Monkeys for the part of Ramsey,
Yeah.
the part was just Ramsey. The minute I got the part, they added the Jose. And I said, why do you have to add the Jose? And they go, just to let people know what you hired a Latino for the project to fill a quota.
Quota.
Right. But that's my thing. It's like people know. You
Yeah.
don't need to tell people. So like it's so frustrating.
How is it like?
So
Do you have an
so it's
eight?
it's it, it's
Is that been?
bittersweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck. I mean, talk to me then, like the moves that you decide to start making post Band and Oz. Then, are you trying to just kind of go back to movies at this point? Like, I know you did Law and Order for a while, you know.
So everything is like, like some one, two-dimensional criminal.
Mm.
Like everything's a one, two-dimensional criminal. Like this gangster, this
Black
gangster,
Donnelly's
that.
here. Yeah.
But even, but worse.
Mm.
Just not like Black Donnelly's was a great script, had great
Yeah.
writing, great directing. I'm talking about it's like just the typical Latino character from like 1970s. I'm just like, so I was like, no, no, no. I've said more no's after uh, Band of Brothers than I should have been saying yes to a lot of stuff. But
Wow.
what they were giving me was just,
Hollow. Vapid.
yeah. I mean, there was, Black Hawk Down. I did get cast in that, but I did Thin Red Line and then I did Band of Brothers. And it was literally a month after I wrapped Band of Brothers. They wanted me to go to Morocco, like literally like a month later. And I just didn't want to do another war picture.
Yeah.
And Ridley Scott is one of my favorite directors. So I've got hired by him twice and never worked with him. How funny is that?
Wow. What are the other
Yeah.
two?
Black Hawk Down. I got hired and I just ended up passing. And
Are you glad you did that or?
no, I should have did it.
Yeah.
I should have. Looking back, I should have did it. So then I get a call like, "Hey, you got to meet some producer for a film called Mars," and I'll go. They go Ridley Scott's directing, and there was an actor that they had a scheduling conflict, and they don't think he uh, could do the picture, so they're going to recast. And I go, yeah, but who's going to turn down Ridley Scott? And my manager goes, you did, you fucking idiot. And I
Ah.
completely forgot about Black Hawk Down at that point. And I literally I go, oh God, I did. Now, mind you, this is in 2014. It was 2001, no, 2000 when Black Hawk Down, I got the part.
Wow.
So 14 years later, I'm like, well, fucking idiot. It's going to turn down Ridley Scott. And so anyway, I got cast again, but then at the last moment, they go, the schedule got smoothed out for him, and he was able to do it. So
Wow.
yeah, so I got hired twice,
Well, it's gonna
and
happen, Ridley. Come on, man. You know, I'll have to have him on the show and tell him.
buddy, yeah,
Well, so talk to me, because like I brought up that audition at the beginning of the interview because I just think you're such an incredible actor, and I think what we saw there, people have not seen that side of you because you just haven't had the chance to showcase something like that and see that, and like it sounds like you got all these 2D characters and Rufus Sewell kind of told me a similar thing when he was on the podcast. It was just upper class Betty, and he was just like the writing wasn't good enough. So what were you doing to like this is something like that is amazing. Like
yeah.
did you have faith in your reps that they knew what you were capable of, or were they just trying to earn money from you?
Uh, buddy, here's the thing. I've been with one manager my entire career. I trust her. She knows what you can do. She has faith in you. The problem is, you see all these things on Instagram. You see all these casting agents on Instagram who are now
Influencing or
they're
whatever.
catching. Well, they're trying to coach actors now,
Yeah.
right? They coach actors and either coaching actors or hey, I'll break you in the business and it costs this amount of money and this and the whole game has changed and has been changing. I grew up, my generation, it's about the work. It's about the skill, right?
Yeah.
It's not about, well, now we got to do the videos ourselves. Now the videos have to be good. Oh, wait, now you need backdrops and lighting and boom, boom, boom. And it's like, you know what I mean? Like SAG negotiated, you don't have to learn the lines, but we both know you have to know the lines.
Yeah.
That's common sense. I don't know why SAG would even tell actors, you don't have to memorize the lines. We both know you're not going to be as good
Yeah.
unless you know the lines.
Yeah.
So why negotiate for something that's going to be bad for your performance?
Yeah.
You cannot
Get a hybrid option so we can actually not have to worry about all the fucking lights and the editing and gaffing. I'm like so exhausted from that shit.
But you can't play and you can't ad lib unless you know your fucking lines.
Yeah.
Like the fact that we have to even say this, like to actors, you know what I mean? And
Amateur
so
hour. Yeah.
you're getting mixed messages from all these people on how to get jobs. And so, what was the question you asked? Because I tied it into that.
Because I said it sounds like you were in a position that some other actors have been on my podcast where the writing just wasn't fucking good enough. You were getting these 2D characters, and where obviously
Yeah,
what I showed there, like you're insanely talented, great character actor, but
yeah,
you get done in this one thing, two-dimensional Latino badass,
yeah.
whatever. Were your agents fighting for you to get the meteor parts, or were they just trying to earn their buck because they knew they could put you on some whatever?
It's money. It's money. That's all it was. I mean, the majority of the things I've done are just I'm so miscast, and I mean,
Yeah.
even you could even take. I mean, listen, a lot of times you're broke and you got to take the job because you need the money. You got to put food on the table. You got
Yeah.
to pay your, you got to keep the lights on. I got trial by jury, the Law and Order thing. I'm completely miscast for that part. Like I'm just, they didn't let me play it the way I wanted to play it. I wanted to do it a little bit different, little bit. Why do our characters, Jerry Orbach and I, why do our characters get along? Maybe we don't get along.
Yeah.
And then the minute I, played it that way, just they wanted me to play it a different way. So, you need the job, you need the money. I had my daughter was just being born, and
Yeah.
so some jobs you do because you do it for the money. Some jobs you got to do just to keep your face out there.
Yeah. 100%.
Listen, we're not going to get like those parts that are going to change our lives without hustling and
Yeah.
without somehow falling in our laps or just 14 people say no and it happens to drop on your lap. Anything that's written well, right? That
Yeah.
has great people behind it, there's going to be offers.
They're gonna go down the line.
You're going down the line.
Leo said no, Christian Bale's gonna get it. Christian Bale didn't
Yeah,
get it. Joaquin's going.
I don't get to pick and choose.
Yeah.
Like, Kirk always plays a police officer because that's what there is, brother.
Yeah.
Kirk always plays this bad, edgy guy. I go, that's what there is. Like, obviously, I could do other things, but you're only as good as the last performance you gave. And if the only thing they're offering are terrible, one dimensional Latino parts, which I've said no to a bunch of times earlier in my career, as I get older and the way the business is now, there's just less and less. And so you keep on saying no, you end up being homeless. Like, you know what I mean?
I hate to kind of keep bringing him up, but Rufus said something, and I'm curious if it resonates with you, that he was saying he kept getting writing, and it was an upper class bad. And he was like, it wasn't good enough. It wasn't good enough. It
But
wasn't good enough. He would pass, 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 and he'd be broke. And then eventually he would have to take something that was worse than all the other stuff
yes,
that wasn't good enough before.
1,000%, 1,000%, and it's like it's very frustrating. It's very frustrating when you just want the opportunity. Like, I'm sure every actor will agree with this. Some of our best performances, no one gets to see. They're on tape that maybe a casting director never even saw
Yeah.
because maybe the part was already offered out, and they're not going to look at those tapes unless that guy turns it down.
Yeah.
So, I mean, listen, I could tell you so many times that has happened. It happened just recently where I blew out my vocal cords just doing takes, just trying to get it right. And we couldn't even get the casting director who knows me on the phone. And I know why, because that part was offered out already. Like, we knew, we know because I know who got it.
Yeah.
And I know that's an offer only.
Fuck,
So
man.
and so, it's part of the game. But listen, when you've been doing this 25 fucking years, like, listen, if you don't got a chip on your shoulder, I mean, it keeps me going because, I still haven't, I don't, other than theater, I don't think I've done a performance that I think is what I could really do.
Yeah. I
That's
can.
just being honest.
No, I agree,
Yeah.
and I don't say that in an insulting manner. I just know what you're capable of, and talk to me here. Like when Fringe was ending around 2011. Was
Yeah.
there ever an interest for you to kind of like, you know what, fuck it, I want to go back to New York and do a play? Like, did that ever come to mind? Like,
Yeah, I've had opportunities in the past. The Patrick Shanley was doing Danny in the Deep Blue Sea, but at the time, while I was in rehearsal for 1 week, I then got trial by jury, and my daughter was literally like 3 months away from being born, and I wanted to do Danny in the Deep Blue Sea. In fact, I grew up on one of the streets, Zariga Avenue, that Danny in the Deep Blue Sea grew up on, and but trial by jury wouldn't let me do both. So yes, I just don't think my voice would hold up now doing eight
8
shows a
shows a
week.
week.
I just don't think, especially the type of parts I would play, I don't think my voice would
Mhm.
hold up. Yeah.
Maybe we can find something that's 6 or 5.
Well, listen,
Yeah, yeah,
five I could do.
yeah.
Five I could do with like one day off in between, like,
Well, the new thing they're doing is they're giving guys like you that are established like the big 5 shows, and then they're letting the understudies do the Tuesday, the Wednesday mat, like the
yeah.
the lesser sold shows. So maybe we get that for you.
Sometimes those matinee shows are the best. That
Yeah,
that 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 was it the is it the Wednesday matinee? The
yeah, the
Wednesday matinee,
Wednesday.
right?
Yeah.
Sometimes the Wednesday matinee. The Saturday one is terrible
What?
because you got
Why?
to do
Why
it.
is that? Tell me. I have never heard that.
Saturday one is terrible
Well,
because you
the
have to do a
Wednesday one,
show
the good. I would not expect that. Like, why is Wednesday the good?
just because I just think everyone overlooks it.
I
Sometimes the matinees just just maybe because it's earlier and you have more energy. I don't know what it is, but I like matinees. I don't
the
know why. I do.
the having done both and done both incredibly well, even though I didn't get to see your theater, are you very much like a rehearse, rehearse, rehearse guy, or do you like spontaneity?
I think you have to rehearse.
Yeah.
I think you know. Uh, You know, it's so funny. There's so many other actors are just more articulate with their process and what they do and how they do what they do. I have no method. The method is whatever method works,
Yeah.
right? There's certain
A little
things
of
you
this,
read.
a little of that. You mean like,
There's
yeah,
certain things you read and you go, oh, okay. I got to go in a lab for 2, 3 months and seclude myself. And then there's some things you read. You go, all right, I'm going to go to McDonald's because that's easy.
yeah,
I understand that. I even know how to make it nuanced and layered. I know what to do. You know what I mean? And there's some parts you just have to delve in and get method, what people think method is. But method is whatever method works. But the method, what I'm referencing is, just, eat, sleep, drink the character. Are
yeah.
there parts like that? Occasionally there are parts like that, depending on the individual,
Got it.
depending on that individual and what it is that part for them.
Wow.
Do you understand?
Yeah, yeah.
Sometimes I was doing a show with an actress, a very famous actress, and
Can you say which show, or do you need to be vague? Or
I'll just say they have an Oscar.
okay,
And so their process is very like,
tunnel vision.
we're fucking in it. We're fucking in it. Like in it, like in between every take, it's like, and it's like, I don't, I, there's some parts that yes, I'll do that for. There's some parts I don't need to do that for. Like
Yeah, you're an actor.
I don't need to, but I felt like they were putting
Being
their method on me.
disrespectful. Yeah,
No, it wasn't disrespectful. No, it wasn't disrespectful. But I felt I was burdened by their method. You know what I mean? Like that I had to do it their way. You know what I
yeah,
mean? And it's like it's just unfortunate because in a way I understand because I don't want to sit there cracking jokes while because you want to respect their process too. And I would never do that anyway. But sometimes I don't want to lock in with you.
yeah.
Like off camera, like I don't need to do that. If you know what
Yes,
I'm saying.
yeah. Save it for when we're hitting record. You
Yeah,
know.
I'm just wasting too much energy.
Yeah,
Like we got like 8 setups and we got like, I don't know, maybe like 8 to 15 takes per setup. Like, hey man, like this is like in 2 scenes, a 10-hour day. Like, I need a respite
yeah.
because you get burnt out very, very, very quickly. Because I don't like doing a lot of takes. That's another thing.
Hmm.
So for me, it's like, let's just, hey, 2, 3 takes, let's go. Let's just go balls out the first one. Let's adjust the second and the third. Let's just play. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, that's an old school way of doing it. But except if you're Stanley Kubrick, it's 50 takes, 50 takes every setup. Yeah.
Or David Fincher.
Oh, he's like that too.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
I mean, tell me, like, around the time when Fringe ended, we start to get into this kind of beginning of like what people. I mean, obviously, I know if you include The Sopranos and things like that, but I mean more the Mad Men, the Breaking Bad, the Boardwalk Empire. Were you ever going in for those shows?
well, I couldn't go in for Boardwalk Empire because I was doing Fringe at the time.
Hmm.
So uh, they actually did come to me and they were like, "Hey, we'd like you to come in."
For
There's a few
Lucky?
different. I don't know. There's a few
Yeah,
different parts, and that's like my genre. Like, I mean,
yeah. He
it's
would have
like
been amazing, and especially with
if,
Shay, it would have been
yeah,
awesome.
if you're gonna put me in anything, it's gonna be that. So, uh, it just was doing Fringe at the time, so it didn't come about.
Same for Mad Men and Breaking Bad.
Uh, I'll tell you a funny story about Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad, I think he brought me in for like the third or fourth season or something. It was the show was at its apex at the time,
Yeah.
right? And they were like to be a drug dealer, but he's a sophisticated drug dealer. You know what I mean? When he drinks whiskey, it's with the pinky out. I don't know if it's kidding, but uh, so I do the audition, and casting felt that I didn't look like someone who sold drugs. And I'm just here to tell that casting director, well, it paid for my college. Paid
Man,
for my college, 4 years, buddy. So it's just so funny. So it's subjective, right?
yeah,
So, in their defense, it's subjective.
yeah,
You wish this was a race.
yeah,
It's not. You don't win by time. It's like, you love Daniel Day-Lewis. I might love Brad Pitt,
yeah,
right? You love Gary Oldman. I love George Clooney.
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's subjective. It's a song. It's a painting, you know? So, you know,
It, it, yeah, I do know. I mean, talk to me as you saw those shows were booming, and then we start to kind of get to the beginning of like this House of Cards, like, oh, streaming thing.
uh,
Did you start to see yourself like having come up in the best time in the 90s and 2000s, like the business start to change a little bit?
well, I mean, I think the production value and the shows out now are like mini films and they look great, right? The problem is there isn't enough.
Yeah.
There isn't enough content. Uh, so what's happening now is, I mean, I don't know what's wrong with the old model, and the old model being, you know, studio networks had no risk because you had commercials, you had
Yeah.
sponsors that
Ads.
paid
Yeah.
that the ads that paid for your show, and so like, why can't we go back to that? We can. You can. Why can't you?
It's more
Because then
profitable for everyone.
and more profitable for everyone. And guess what? More product.
Yeah.
There'll be more product. The problem is there's no more film. There's no more film.
What do you think
Uh,
killed that?
COVID.
You
You'd
think,
rather sit home and watch TV.
yeah,
The movie's going to come out on iTunes in 2 weeks. I could just sit home and watch TV at the comfort of my home and buy it for like $19 and I own it
yeah.
instead of going to the theater for $19 and then I got to deal with
$28 concessions. Someone's on their iPhone.
correct.
Yeah.
And I could sit home, pause it, enjoy it, watch it multiple times, share it with other people. Uh, and also, it's just not making its money back from COVID. So no one's going to theaters. So all those movies, unless you're Tom Cruise or you're something with a massive IP,
A
Lord of the
Marvel,
Rings,
DC.
Marvel, Lord of the
Yeah.
Rings, right?
Harry.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's like 100+ million. You're going to make your money. But I mean, we look at this year. We could just name some big hits that just come out this month
Yeah.
that are just tanking. And it's just no one wants to go to movies.
Do you think it's ever going to come back?
No, no, no. It's done. Done, done. Auditions, live auditions will never come back. That's done too.
So
Uh
I really want to jump into this for my listeners. So like,
yeah.
obviously, like, let me just go here on your, before we go fully into that, talk to me about like obviously Dawn at Planet of the Apes, working with Matt Reeves, Arrow, 12 Monkeys. Like there's so many great things that happened here pre-pandemic. Let's jump into that for a little bit. Like how were those experiences? And was that I mean, you got to do one of the big IP things. Was that a fun time?
Great. Great. Amazing. Uh, So much fun. All those projects. Arrow is the most fun playing the villain. Like the most fun. I think it was the first time like I ever played a villain, like a real villain. Planet of the Apes was a villain, but he wasn't really a villain. I
Yeah.
mean, half the pop, I mean, 98% of the population got killed off by the simian flu. Of course, that character is going to feel a certain type of way. But, Arrow was so much fun. Enjoyed my time. Uh, but that was pre-pandemic.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk
And
about
and
films.
and that network that was on was one of the best networks for shows and doesn't exist anymore. You know,
Doesn't
like
exist anymore.
like the
But if,
CW was imperative for
yeah,
actors. Like
yeah.
everything, like Riverdale, Arrow, like all those shows, like that. That's how actors broke in.
So I went from like working nonstop, complete nonstop. I finished Arrow early 2019. I think in the first, like either February of 2019. And so I wanted to take some time off because I went nonstop because I did 12 Monkeys, The Kingdom to Arrow, and then Insidious and Planet of the Apes mixed in those 4 years, right? So in that time,
Amazing 4 years.
great 4 years,
Yeah.
a lot of work, right? Uh, and then I kept on coming in second place, kept on coming second place all of 2019.
Can you say
So,
some what for or
oh, like
anything?
Birds of Prey
Got it.
came in second place for,
It
like
it
but that was a little bit.
2017 maybe or yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
still doing Arrow at that
Yeah.
time, or just before Arrow that
Oh,
might have
okay.
happened.
Okay. Okay.
Uh, but Birds of Prey and what was the Don't Breathe
Wow.
thing? Don't Breathe 2, that one I think. And so and so that, okay, so those didn't work. Then COVID came about,
Yeah.
so didn't work. 2019, COVID comes and no one's working. No one's working. So now I'm not working 2019, 2020, right? No one's working.
2 years.
2021 comes and there's, I'm up for some TV shows. Like, it just goes one way or this way for, that would have like saved me. That would have saved me. So that doesn't work. Keep on coming in second place. So, and the reality is, second place, you're the first one to lose.
Yeah.
You're the real loser. Because third and fourth and fifth, and if you audition for it, they never had a chance, right?
Yeah.
They just, you were never an option. It's really second and third place, you're the real losers there. It's just unfortunate. And so I went from working nonstop to now I got to sell my house. I got to sell my house. And it's just like, and everyone's going through this. I have so many friends, people actors that had to sell their house. And so then, in the process of all of that, like I'm under all this stress
Are you doing
because
conventions? Like, are you
no,
doing?
everything's dead. Can't
Yeah.
do any of that. There's nothing. And then we have the writer's strike, and then you have the fires, like
Yeah.
all this on top of, and so TV is really the only place to really make a living now because it's not in film. For guys like me, guys like us, it's not in film. It's not,
Yeah.
it's not in film. I can't even tell you what they want to offer us. It's not even a livable wage. And then TV now, all the movie stars, since there's no more films, not the way it used to be,
Yeah.
they're all in TV. I'm going to talk about every Oscar winner as doing some 8 to 10 to 13 episode show multiple times.
Literally, Nicole Kim is in like 11 shows.
I mean, so do you see what I mean? So
Yeah.
I'm competing with Oscar winners.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, should we pay Kirk his quote or this guy that was nominated for an Oscar 7, 8, 10 years ago? See the problem?
Yeah.
So the middle class,
Is
like with
evaporating.
anything, like with in any in any economy, in any country, the middle class always gets squeezed out. And we're getting squeezed out.
Hey, what do you
So,
think? Oh yeah, sorry, go on.
so I'm gonna circle this back to having money and what money does. Right. Like, oh, money isn't what it seems, right? All right. So, you don't work for 2, 3 years now. And you do like a little guest spot for a friend who asked me to do a cameo in The Offer.
Oh
Dexter
yeah, yeah,
Fletcher.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Dexter said,
Yo,
"Hey
you're
man,
you're homies with Dexter. Oh, I love
yeah, because
Dexter.
Band
Yeah.
of Brothers also." He's like, "Hey, could you do this?" And then Terry Metalis was like, "Hey, could you do a little uh, um, uh, Star Trek?" Oh yeah, sure, sure, sure. You know what I mean? Like, of course, I'm not
Yeah.
working. I get a hemorrhagic stroke, losing my house, not working because this damn pandemic. Everything happens. I get a hemorrhagic stroke,
Oh my God.
a rare hemorrhagic stroke, but a hemorrhagic stroke, a brain bleed. And so, no neurological problems, nothing of that sort. I had a slight brain bleed. No one knows why it was caused. All my vitals, like everything, were perfect. Perfect. I have a resting heart rate, 47. My blood pressure, I'm barely alive. It's like I wake up in the morning after a large cup of coffee, it's 108 over 61, right? My cholesterol is like probably average, but it's not.
Yeah.
So, how do I get a brain bleed? How do I get a hemorrhagic stroke? They don't know. It's called a perimesencephalic brain hemorrhage. A perimes as the nickname they give it. And so it's just a slight ooze of a blood vessel. But let me tell you, you get like that much blood the size of a pinky nail in your brain, it feels like a vice grip. I mean, it just was like, so I was in intensive care in ER, and it was one 4 days before my 50th birthday.
Oh my God.
So I get the clean bill of health. They give me an angiogram. I get the clean bill of health. They go, your blood vessels are like an 18-year-old. They go, they're so clear. Like they go, how did you get like, non-arismal? Uh, so a little to show you how rare this is, because I think to put it into context, there are 700,000 to 800,000 strokes in the United States a year. 85% are ischemic strokes. 15% are hemorrhagic strokes. Now, you don't want any type of stroke, but if you want one, you rather have an ischemic than hemorrhagic.
Yeah.
Okay, because the numbers there is 50% of the people that get a hemorrhagic stroke die. Of the 50% who survive, 50% of those die within the year. That's seriously, you don't want it. But here's how rare mine was. The perimesencephalic non-arismal, 4 out of 1 million hemorrhagic strokes get what I get. So to put that in perspective, if there's 150,000 hemorrhagic strokes, because remember, it's only 15% out of 800,000, right? I'm more than likely one person when I had it within the last 2 years of having that type of stroke in all of the United States.
Wow.
They did research from England and the United States. It's like 275 cases. There's only 275 cases between U.S. and well, there might be people who just had one and never went to the hospital, right? But what made it dangerous for me, like obviously a brain bleed is dangerous. When I first got the headache, and it was like the world's worst headache, it was, and I don't get headaches. Never had a headache. I've never taken Advil for a headache in my life. My dad has never had a headache. So it's weird. I just thought it was this hereditary thing. Never had a headache. Just never. I've only taken aspirin for sports injuries. So when I have this pain, I call my wife and I'm like, oh my God, like it hurts so bad I can't even talk. And so they call, paramedics and everything. She calls the doctor. They go, call 911. He's having a stroke. And I go, really? Like, because I'm like, call the paramedics over. And I'm embarrassed because I'm like, I'm ready to go to gym. I'm like, I hope no one saw Band of Brothers.
Yeah.
I'm laying on my left side. And so the fireman's like, young 20-year old. He's like 20 years old. And he's like, dude, his vitals are better than mine. It's like there's just no way. So I thought nothing of it, but I just had this bad headache. The next morning I wake up, I can't bend my head down because when you have a brain bleed, it starts dripping down the spinal cord, and so the inflammation doesn't allow you to bend your head down. So I couldn't. All I could bend my head down was to this. That was it. I couldn't go here, and so my neck was killing me. So I'm thinking I have like, you know, encephalitis or something like that. I go to the doctor and he goes, the urgent care, and he was like, what are you going to do? I go, I'm going to go to the chiropractor. He's like, yeah. I go, I think it's my neck. I just think I have a pinched nerve in my neck and I'm going to get readjusted. Buddy, if I got readjusted, I'd be dead. I'd be dead. No. This doctor goes, I'm 50-50 whether I should send you to the ER. He's like, what are you going to do? I go, chiropractor. Just go to the ER. He literally took 2 minutes. And so I go to the ER. I spend like 6 hours there. I'm miserable. I want to knock every nurse out, male nurse, especially this one male nurse. But and then I finally get a CT scan with contrast, and that male nurse that was evil was the nicest human being I've ever seen in my life. And then I text my buddy back and my wife, and I go, remember that nurse I wanted to knock out? They were so nice to me. They started petting my hand like this. And they go, oh my God, it's bad. And then the doctor came, started going like this to my forehead. You're going to be here for a couple of days. We saw a bleed on the thing. I go, are you kidding? Put me in a private room. Within 3 minutes, 7 neurosurgeons within 5 minutes. Meanwhile, I told you my blood pressure was like low the whole time because now the reality and the adrenaline, my blood pressure was 200 over like 130.
Oh my
But
God.
but it was adrenaline. It was the adrenaline of like, holy shit. So anyway, 4 days after the day after doing the angiogram, they gave me a clean bill of health.
That's where they get the blood or take it out or what?
No, they put a camera and usually go through your thigh,
Yeah.
but my veins were like they're like, your veins are so clear. They go, we've never been able to go through someone's wrist before. They went through my wrist and they put the camera through the blood in the vein all the way up to the stem of your neck, and the camera's right there and it releases dye, and that dye goes through all the blood vessels to see if there's an aneurysm and where the bleed is, or an
Wow.
obstruction or whatever. And they go, beautiful. They go, you're vital, like everything is, you're 18 years old. And I've been running my whole life, right, like doing marathons and stuff. And so the day after that, he gave me a clean bill of health, and I go, doc, why did it happen in the first place? And he goes, no one knows. And that's the thing of all those 270 people. No one knows why they got it. No
Wow.
one knows. But of those 270 people, it's only ever reoccurred twice, and both lived.
Wow. I'm
And
so
so
sorry.
my birthday's coming up, I get released 2 days prior to my birthday, and all I want is a glass of wine. But after I've been through All I want is a glass of wine, Lord Jesus. Give me some wine. Give me some liquor. And
Yeah.
so my wife called and she goes, my husband only wants a glass of wine. He goes, he could have two. In fact, he could have three. Clean bill of health. So
Wow.
that's how. And I had no neurological, nothing except I started getting migraines for the next 3, 4 months, but they went away. So back to having no headaches. But my point is going through not working, stress, 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 and I'm in shape. I'm
Yeah.
running hills. And then I get this thing. And then they're telling me after you can't have your blood pressure go above a certain rate. You have to, for the next 3 months. I go, I take a shit. Your blood pressure is going to be like 160 if you're constipated. What are you
Yeah.
talking about? I go, there were some auditions. I had to scream in my auditions. I would do my blood pressure after audition. It's like 170. Like, what are you talking about? So anyway, man, listen, having money makes things a lot easier, my friend.
Yeah.
You know? And it's just unfortunate. There's just less opportunities for us as actors. Doesn't matter how good you are, there's just less opportunities. More competition, less content.
Do you
Recipe for disaster.
do you think there's, between the moment that we're in now, like, is there any hope, you think? Like, what do you think with we're in
Like
the
hope.
bit
What's hope? What's hope for you?
at this point, it seems like the legacy system is just done the way that we had it. They killed this profitable thing for this thing is incredibly less profitable, but that like now there's new ways of monetization without relying on those. YouTube, obviously Google takes most of the money, but like, artists get together and build a different platform that allows the old model to work that's generated by ads like a Tubi or any of one of these fast free ad supported tier things, where people and there's like I not that I want to jump into one of these yet, at least this vertical, is there going to be a new thing
Here's
that
the problem. And the problem is, do you watch UFC?
I've seen it. I don't watch it like
Okay.
every title, Matt. Yeah.
The problem is they own the market. They're the only competition. They have a monopoly on the whole MMA, mixed martial arts. With the merger of Paramount, Warner Brothers, every there's less content.
Yeah.
There's less content. There's no competition is what we want.
Yeah.
People competing. Remember the times when you had, oh, this guy's coming out with uh James Bond, and this was coming out with Mission Impossible, or you'd have this magician show and that magician show, like this detective series. They're gonna like there was competition. You were competing who had the best product and different shows, and they would take risks. When you have a monopoly, you don't need to take risks.
Yeah. It stagnates innovation.
AI, I mean, what it does to stunt performers and for people in CGI,
Yeah.
all the people, the sketch artists who have to, it makes them all obsolete, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Industries eliminated, sectors killed, production, design, all these things are going to change. I mean, do you see, now that, that let's just take this fucking thing right here, and what you can do with AI, do you think there's a way that AI could put art back in the hands of artists? Because now you can do this like this sea dance fight scene and you can shoot something with a green screen and not have to send it to a CGI facility. You could just do it yourself in Adobe, or insert AI program here.
man, listen, yes, you could do all that. Yes.
Like we were talking,
Here's
what was that movie, The Iron Lung? Like things like
Yeah.
that.
No,
Yeah,
no, that's great.
yeah,
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. We're talking about like, you know, early 50s me.
Yeah.
right? It's easier for people who don't have responsibilities, don't have kids, don't have a family. It's just them, a couple of roommates, stuff like that. It's like it's it's really hard to pivot at our age.
Yeah.
Pivot, and it's like, okay, so now I got to find other avenues and other ways to monetize my skill set.
Yeah.
How do I do that? It- it's like at a time, my generation was the generation was like, oh, okay, you can't sit by a phone and wait for someone to call you. It'll never happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's no one's going to call you. You have to do it yourself. So I think, shooting your own stuff on your phone, doing your own, like, teasers and specs and write. You just have to write. You have to write and hope something sticks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know the answer. But all I know is this. No one's gonna give me no one's gonna give me the performance I want to do. I have to write and create the performance I want to do.
Yeah.
Because the performance I want to do there's already a list of people who want to do that performance. Right?
100%.
I mean, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, stuff like that is not gonna fall, not at this age range. See, that's the problem, not at this age range. If I'm 18, 19, 20, that's a different conversation.
Yeah.
But in this age range, you know, 38 to 50, right? You know what I mean? So it's like, especially, I can't really play 50. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't really look 50.
No, at
But
all.
so you know what I mean? So I'm competing like with like studs. I mean, you know what I mean? It's like
So where are you focusing now? I mean, are you writing? Are you
just
producing?
write just writing with my wife, and my wife uh just writing stuff with my wife, and just trying to really set up my daughter for success. If this is something she wants to do, and just trying to set her up for success and not have her have to struggle in the industry the way I did.
Yeah.
Just try to give her some cheat codes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
and I think I could do that for her. So,
I know it's probably not, back to the 2D stuff, but are you getting auditions again? Because I know you did Lioness. Like
yeah,
I wish I had Taylor Sheridan's phone number. Let's get you back in Marshall's
he's the
season
man.
two. Yeah.
He's the
Let's
man.
like, is that something that you're still at
Uh,
least going in for the
yeah,
right?
no, no, no. I'm going. I have a film coming out called Unarmed, and then also a Netflix show called Trinity that's coming out either spring or summer, uh, and it's with Gugu and Path Raw
Oh
is
yeah,
in it.
yeah.
She's lovely, and a bunch of Bruce Greenwood. It's Greenwood, yeah, Greenwood,
Yeah.
right?
I think so. Yeah, yeah.
He's great, and a bunch of other actors, and I
Did that
play
stop
the.
the home selling at least? Like, are you,
Oh no, I had to sell it. I mean, no,
that was a
that was
different
that
home
was
than you're calling me in right now.
that was bad. Yeah, I mean, it just
Sorry. Mm.
yeah, no, it is what it is. I wasn't the only one, so I don't wish that upon anyone. Let's
Yeah.
put it that way. It was a terrible time. Yeah, and still recovering from that. Financially. So it is. Even still, like, so you work, right? They don't give you your quote anymore.
No.
They half your quote, third your quote, or don't even give you a quote. Just hire you as top of show. I mean, you can't survive. You cannot survive that way. You- okay, you're married, one kid. Let's say you do 10. Let's say you do 10. You do 10 guest spots. We're making that just a lot of guest spots. 10 guest spots. That's 100 grand, right?
Yeah.
100 grand. You have an agent and a manager, right? All right. So we take 20% out, right? That's 80 grand, right?
Taxes.
Right. We got taxes too. That's what you pay a little bit less taxes. What is it, like 38%?
40 grand, 45 grand.
45 grand. Okay. Let's say 45 grand. 45 grand. Let's say your rent is, I don't know. Let's go on the low side. We won't even go on the high side. Let's go on the low side. Say $3,000. That's pretty low. That's pretty low for, you know, three grand. So that's, I don't know, 3 grand. That's 36,000. That what that is?
Yeah.
Can you survive off 10 episodes?
No.
But you could if you're just starting out. See, this is the conundrum for older middle class actors. This is the problem. That right there is the problem. So we've been in the business, working steady, right? And then all of a sudden, it just stops. They don't pay you quote. They make top two on the call sheet, regulars. Everybody else is recurring. And because everybody else is recurring, they can lowball you.
Yeah.
See the problem? That's the problem.
And do you think they're trying to break actors now to take it or leave it, or we'll just find someone cheaper if it's not you?
Think.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
think. Because everybody needs the job. There's
Line is that way.
there are actors that would do it for free.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're doing it for free. We have no leverage. This is a reality that no one's talking about. See, I watch all these videos and everyone's like, it's going to change. How long have we been hearing the business is going to go back? How long?
Since
Since
2022, probably.
since 2021.
Yeah.
Since 2021. And it hasn't. And now we're thinking about possibly striking again.
Yeah.
Strike for what? We get less and less every time we strike. I'm all for unions. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is right now we have no leverage. There's nothing to strike. Some actors aren't even getting auditions.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I've never had less in my life. I mean, I'm not
I've
you, but
never had less in life. And here's another issue. So the preference of going in live or doing on tape. Now, you showed that tape. I did. I came close. It was between me and another actor for that part. Uh, but when I went in the room, for me, it was almost a sure thing. For
yeah.
me, when I met the people that make the decision to hire, it was almost a sure thing. If you want to know my numbers for tape, I mean, it's pretty bleak. I'm like, oh, for like to like 2 for like 300. It's crazy.
Wow.
I get offers here and there. You know what I mean? And that helps. But the tape thing has just been very difficult for me. And if people are going to see that tape, they go, "Oh, well, that's a good tape." I like to think all my tapes are like that.
Do you
You,
think
you know,
for someone like you that are even watching them, like half the time us actors who are nobodies are like, they even see that? Do you feel like for yours, because you have a body of work and you're respected, that they watch yours?
I think there's so many actors who are out of work that they have friends that are out of work, that's what's going on. There's it's like sand. It's like a tablespoon of sand in like an ocean, and the ocean is the competition. The sand is the product or
Yeah.
the jobs. That's the problem. There isn't enough to go around. That's the problem. Lots are empty.
I know.
They're selling lots.
Radford's
Be-
gone.
Gone
Yeah.
because there isn't enough product. So mergers are not a good thing. And everyone's like, oh, it's coming. No, it's not. I mean, if I'm starting out
Yeah,
in
I
this,
ask
in this,
every guest this, so let me phrase it so I can
yeah,
use this clip because you're setting this up already. Every single guest who has done this podcast has
yeah,
answered this question, and you've already set the scene. It's 2026. It's fucking mid-March. Not Paramount. That motherfucker is gonna destroy and gut probably Warner Brothers, and AI is coming and it's getting better with every development. We're seeing
AI is here.
fight,
AI is here.
Tom Cruise
Yeah,
fight Brad Pitt in a way that's a little terrifying
right.
more than anyone
Yeah,
wants to admit. There's less product. Things that do shoot sometimes shoot in Budapest, and if you're not a
yeah,
European local hire, they'll just get someone there and they'll
yeah.
cast it. So I'm only saying that to say if it were you starting now, what would you do?
It's different. It's different. It's different if you're younger. Like my daughter has way more opportunities starting out than than myself. But what I do tell my daughter is write, 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 because that's where the value's at, right? Uh, create your own stuff, get together with friends, have someone do sound, learn how to do every job, have someone do behind the camera, like how, Spielberg knows how to do every person's job on the set because he had to learn. And so it's just very hard because I'm trying not to be negative because I love acting.
Yeah,
It's I do it because it's like it could be like therapy for your soul.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like even watching a movie or a show or a documentary, it's sometimes, it's therapy, you know, depending on I don't know the answer. I really don't. I, I I I just don't think you could make a living at a certain level. You can. I just when middle class actors are having trouble, it's that's the problem
yeah. So do
because
you,
it doesn't trickle down.
no.
It just doesn't trickle down.
But yeah, man, I think you're speaking to a really real thing here, because the business, I think people do have this tendency to say these things that clip really well. And
Yeah,
it's nice to hear. It is incredible to hear, great things, but it's also very important, I think, to hear the honesty about where the pulse of the business is at this moment. And with this merger that's about to happen, with like production being at 40, 50%, it's crazy. But like,
crazy.
for the grinders listening right now that are like, maybe broke in after the pandemic and only know the self-tape thing, they don't know the in-person thing, man, like what do you think? Is it just banding together? Is that what it is at this point?
I mean, the truth is, you just got to rely on your friends and people in the industry. Hopefully, You have people that are selfless and give back. And that's the key. Because just a lot of people don't give back.
Yeah.
You know, you help the people who helped you get there. That's just part of the process.
Thank you for saying that because there are so many people that have done this podcast that I have asked for help, and you know, I'm gonna cut that. Thank you for saying that. There's so many people that I think say those things, and then when it comes time to ask, then they get awkward about it. So I think that's important to remember that if you preach it, practice it.
Listen, I have backed it up with multiple friends. Listen, I had a buddy, uh, Melvin Rodriguez, years and years and years ago. Melvin, he does tons of comedy stuff now. Great, great, funny actor. Great. I call him. Who's the guy that was in? He's funny and does serious stuff. Who's that guy? He used to be really big and he slimmed down
Ethan
just recently.
Suplee.
John Goodman.
Oh,
He's like the Latino John Goodman. He's funny and could be dead serious, and he's just a big, lovable guy. But he asked me years ago, he picked me up from the airport. I was coming to LA to do something. This is years ago. He was so nervous. I was like, what? What was wrong? He's like, I gotta ask you for a favor. And I thought he was gonna ask me for money or something like that, right? Because just that's all he did.
when
He's
someone's
like,
that nervous, that's usually what it
yeah.
means.
I was like, yeah, what's up, bro? He's like, I want to know if you could introduce me to your manager. I go, absolutely. Got on the phone right in front of him so I could show him. And I went, boom, Melvin, blah, blah, great actor. Well, he's funny. He's like John Goodman, blah, blah, blah. He's been with my manager ever since. Still to this day.
God, I love that.
Still to this day. And I've done that for other people, you know. And obviously, I'll preface it with this too, because we're different types too, right?
Yeah.
Like obviously, if he was like similar to me or
Yeah.
something like that, like I mean, it's a different maybe conversation, right? But but we're two completely different people. There's no competition. You know what I mean? Like, is it your manager has other clients, your agents have other clients. They're not going to take jobs from you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't understand. You give back. If you know of a part or like the part that's not right for you, but hey man, this part you need to get in on this.
Yeah.
Done it hundreds of times.
That's what I do always.
Yeah.
This has been amazing. Like your story is incredible. This has been one of my favorite episodes I've ever done. And like, man, like I could talk to you for hours and I'm gonna say this and I mean this sincerely. Like, we gotta do a part two at some point. Like this is incredible. Like you're a true artist, man, and you have so much soul and depth and sincerity to you in a business that doesn't reward that. And man, just in the time that I've gotten to know you off camera, like I feel like I've known you for 10 years and I would trust you with my life and you hit me tomorrow with whatever, I would be there for you in a second, man. And there's nobody that I want to win more than you, and there's nobody that I think is going to win more than you because there's so many great things that you have to offer. And I think now the audience, especially getting a taste of what I put at the beginning of this, sees what you're capable of. So, man, I'm just so proud of you and I'm so grateful for your time.
I appreciate that, brother. Appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
I love you, brother, and I'm going to say to be continued.
Definitely to be continued. Definitely, brother.